Awesome to see everybody here. I know there's been, you know, sending out some emails. They were going to spam folders. There are some challenges, uh, but I think we are slowly finding our way here, and that's delightful. Um, as this comes together, it's going to be a little bit more components, I think. There is a WhatsApp group that we'll do some announcements in, starting to do an email list with some recaps and uh, have an avenue to provide resources for people. So, and also a chance for us to have some community in a different format through those platforms, through the WhatsApp especially. So, and there'll be a website coming soon. I had a first look at it yesterday. It's a place that will store the teachings, so people have access to an archive of classes and awareness of upcoming events and things like that. So I'm getting a lot of support from my friends to do all of this. So I really want to thank Megan and thank Nicole for helping out with that. And MStack, I saw what you created this morning briefly. Thank you. So I really appreciate the uh, support and advice I get. Karina, thank you. So here we are, MindLab version 2. Last week we talked about harvesting joy and the creation of a happiness calendar. I'm curious how many people created a happiness calendar. Sort of. Too. I didn't get to it this weekend. I saw Sarah on the call. Sarah, we have a project. I would love to do that. It is in the WhatsApp group. Um, so I don't know, Megan, if you can throw that link in the chat, that'd be great. If you want to take a look, it's just a fun, I think it's very cool. I used to do it with some youth work that I used to do where we talked about the value of harvesting joy. And that was where I wanted to start with MindLab because I think it's so important in a meditation practice and in life. And that happiness, compassion, those things are things we cultivate. They don't just happen automatically. And and I think having joy in our life, having a positive outlook in our life is clearly an important part of our spiritual path to realization. And so I was thinking about that. I was in a meditation class last night and somebody was finishing up a program they had done, and they had divided their program into four different um, levels. And I thought it was cool. So I want to talk about that and then we'll meditate. The first one was just kind of foundational practices. Like, what are the practices that are foundational to all meditation styles or all meditation systems? He compared it to like the scales when you're trying to learn music. Doesn't matter if it's blues. If you're learning piano, it doesn't matter if it's uh, blues or jazz or whatever. The scales are the scales. So, what are the scales of meditation? I was thinking, things like renunciation, establishing a daily practice, understanding an object, correct posture, things that are relevant to meditation, no matter what style. And so I thought today we would talk about establishing a practice again. But to me, that fits into this foundation or these core things that are the scales of music of the practice of meditation. And then there's, I think, a huge aspect of that. He divided this into something different, but I think a huge aspect of that is stillness. So we're training the mind in developing a steady level of concentration. And to me, that's the basis of all forms of meditation. Whatever we do, there has to be that foundation of stillness where we're just chasing our mind around and not really being effective in whatever the style of meditation is that we've chosen to do. um, so there's some foundational things to think about. There's the development of stillness. The third is what we focused on the other day with developing the heart, having a heart connection, the development of love, the harvesting joy aspect. And I think it comes quite naturally out of stillness. Um, like we can think of the joy experienced in the quite naturally in the higher levels of meditation as an example of how joy or bliss comes out of meditation. But I also think we can think of that in a much, much, much more simple way and just stop, like right now, and just like, I've been talking really fast for 6 minutes, and like if we just stop and take a breath and be centered and unclutter the mind of thoughts and become present in the present, like to indulge in being present. How quickly the worries about the project that isn't going so well, or the to-do list, or the challenging relationship issue, or whatever, can fade away so quickly. So we can think of the development of that joy as, oh, well, that comes with higher states of meditation. But I think to experience that throughout the day consistently in a simple coming to being indulgent in the present moment. um, what a hugely valuable life tool to be able to access that, and to be able to access that when things are tough, or things are emotional, or when things are feeling a little squirrely. And then from there, I think also out of that stillness, we could talk about the development of heart practices, but we could also talk about the development of insight practices. And I think also that also comes quite naturally out of that stillness, where insights will arise. Insights into impermanence, for example, or the lack of a self nature, and how that those insights counteract the ignorance which lies at the root of all of our negative thoughts and negative emotions. Those come out of stillness. Uh, and so we can look at how those things develop, like love or the compassion or the heart-centered practices, how they come quite naturally out of stillness. Same thing with insight, how those things come quite naturally out of how those things can come out of stillness. But also that we can cultivate those quite directly in meditation. So we can not just develop those qualities of love and wisdom through stillness, but also directly through meditating on harvesting joy, or um, practices to develop bodhicitta or tonglen. And then on the wisdom side of things, understanding the nature of reality, or the nature of suffering, or the nature of impermanence, or the nature of emptiness. And we can try to cultivate those quite directly in meditation. So I don't know. I like that framework of how we can think of meditation, and maybe we'll dive into that as a framework a little more, or refer back to it a little more as we start MindLab again. I did want to talk about, start with some joy practices, start with some heartfelt practices, but today I wanted to talk about it's an opportunity for us to kind of reset our practice too. I don't know how everyone has done without MindLab or breathe meditation in their life. I know that a lot of us are connected to different groups and different meditations. A lot of you study with Nicole, and there's a grounding place that we can have community and study with. For some of us, maybe we've fallen off a little bit, and I had to go through a few ideas, and then we'll meditate about that we can't be successful in meditation if we're not doing it. Uh, that's kind of a prerequisite for improvement. We have to actually do it. And I have tried the other way. I've really tried to get better through not doing it. And I found it to be wildly unsuccessful. And I think most of us have probably done that. Um, it's unfortunate, but so then we can look at, well, how do we cultivate a practice? And one of the ways I struggle with this a lot because my schedule is so crazy right now. I mean, not right now, just for the years, with teaching a lot in the mornings, which is when I is my natural time to meditate. That is hard for me to say I meditate at 6 every morning. It's hard for me to say well, I'm going to meditate at this time every morning because my schedule isn't super conducive to that. So then I'm like, well, I'll fit it into that break, or I'll fit it into that break. And there's always something else that will compete for that break. There's something else that will compete for my attention, or that time. A meeting will spill over, or I'll be hungry, or it becomes important that have coffee. And so really we don't want to schedule our meditation in our free time. We want to schedule a life around our meditation practice. So the more we can be established in when our practice is. My practice is at 6 till 6:30. And then build my life around that. I think that's like a huge grounding starting point of consistency in practice that allows for improvement. And then the second thing that comes up is when we do have that, okay, I'm going to meditate at 6 every day. And then there's the tendency to procrastinate, like looking at the messages at 5:45. And then there's these things that one needs to respond to, or wants to respond to, or just the mind is then on those things of the day. And so we can look up from the phone, and then it's 6:20 and the meditation practice is gone. And all we've done is responded to some messages. All we've done is just push information around, or looked at the headlines, or like that time. It's hard to carve it out, and then it's so important to keep it precious. And then the third thing is, once we are in that meditation, to really use it well. And so if we kind of put something in our mind right before the meditation in the morning, it's so easy to, okay, I have to meditate. But then our mind is colored with, once I'm done meditating, I have to respond to that email, or can't believe that person wrote that. And so we need to, not only establish consistent practice and then keep that sacred and not procrastinate. We also have to work diligently through the whole session. We really have a clear goal in mind of our meditation session. Like, what am I trying to do? Excuse me, I'm getting a little sick. What are we trying to do? Not blaming anyone. Sarah Blackburn just because you came home with this cough that I now have. Uh, you have to kind of practice with diligence through that meditation session, and and to me, the part of that is being clear on the goal of what we're trying to do. Sarah is eye rolling in the chat. Uh, so to have a clear idea of what we're trying to do, so we just don't kind of I really think about how Sarah practices music versus how I practice music. One of us practices to get better, and one of us once in a while picks up a guitar and screws around for 5 minutes and then does the same thing and puts it away. And when Sarah practices music, she really practices to get better. And if that means doing the same scale that she's working on for a half hour, that's it. That's the scale. And meditation should be clear like that. Like, what are we trying to do in our meditation, and to have that focus as we enter into the meditation, so that we're working towards our goal in meditation, not just checking off the box of, okay, I meditated today, which is great, you know. But if our goal really is to develop, for instance, single point of concentration, my experience is not meditating won't work. A Just kind of sitting down and meditating, but not really being diligent in applying effort or having a goal and a process in mind, it also long term doesn't work. I don't think it works very well, because I think we don't progress, and then we get discouraged. And then it's just hard to develop a consistent practice in something that we don't feel successful at, or year after year we're not making progress in. So I think, that's I hope the value of these classes, and the um, you know studying to understand the 9 stages, and what to do as we practice. Speaking of which, let's practice. So good to see you all. A beautiful group of people. So take a moment and connect with the environment, connect with the seat, our physical sensation. What does it feel like to be sitting on whatever you're sitting on? Like, what is the sensation of the connection between whatever you're sitting on? Tap into a moment of the physical sensation right now, or the temperature, just as a way to, it's a very quick way to be present in the present. What's the feeling of the hands touching? And just take a moment to really relax into that and indulge into that state of presence. A while ago, we used the word luxuriate, luxuriate in that state. And then find something enjoyable in that state. It could be the familiarity of the sensation of breath. For me, it's the birds outside, simply being present in the present, connecting that with something enjoyable. Take a moment to see if there's tension that you can let go of. And then allow the mind naturally to find the sensation of breath somewhere around the upper lip or nostrils. Allow that sense, though, of the enjoyment to resonate in the heart, like reverberate, or don't let go of that. Keep that and reflect on the beauty of a highlight of last night or something really beautiful that's happened recently. Just kind of tap into the story to create the emotion, let go of the story. And we'll count 10 breath cycles. We're narrowing the scope of our attention to that sensation of breath, but at the same time, allowing those other things to be in our awareness. Let go of the counting. Follow the sensation of breath, being aware of the beginning and end of the exhale, pause, beginning and end of inhale and the pause. Don't stay at that level too long. Move to level 3, filling in those gaps, being aware of the entire breath cycle, connecting this breath cycle with previous breath cycles. So we're maintaining awareness without losing the object over an extended period of time. Maintain that. Level 3, we need to develop introspective awareness, guarding the mind against forgetting, guarding the mind against dullness creeping in, and maintaining a maintaining a state of awareness of the state of mind that's holding the object. And if we do that, we can slip into stage 4 practice where we're not losing the object at all. And to see if there's a way to increase the vibrancy or intensity, clarity, whether that's through joy or through relaxation. It's not through efforting our way in necessarily. Last 3 or 4 minutes, see if we can add a practice with diligence through the end. Maybe need to focus on the relaxation or the joy aspect or hmm. Take a last minute to reflect on the experience, maybe a mental journal or what you will write in a real journal. What went well? What problems came up? How did you try to address them? What inspirations are there to take with us through the day or into our next practice session? And as you're ready, you can come out of the meditation. And then check the mind immediately. Did it just become energized and wake up? Like there's some real insights into that moment of coming out of meditation. Like, am I suddenly much more vibrantly awake right after the meditation? That's an indication that there was some dullness creeping in. Um, anyway, we have a couple minutes. Thoughts, compliments, concerns, complaints, critiques, criticisms. How did it go? How's practice?
I thought it was lovely, especially just sharing it with you all. Was feeling a bit distracted and then keyed into us all doing the same practice together, and that really helped me ground.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, Kurt.
Thank you.
For me, it was really good. Thank you, Earl, for this meditation.
Mm,
And I thought, holding the object, the breath continuously, holding it in the mind, that was a good nudge. I feel like it was helpful to hold on to it longer before distractions arise. So it was like we were gently carried in this joint attention of the breath. Yeah.
yeah, cool. Sometimes I think we can hold ourselves back on the in the levels and um, not think that we can just move up. And spend a little bit of time doing the stage 2 practice, then spend some time doing stage 3, and then you know there's no reason not to be on stage 4. No reason to be forgetting the object and not hold ourselves back with limited expectations. And not. All right, friends, let's call it a day. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, if you didn't do the happiness calendar, which most of us didn't, I'd encourage you to have a look at it and to work on meditation by cultivating joy and happiness in our life. It's extremely hard to meditate stressed out when life is um, like when there's not balance or when there's a lot of heavy concerns or stress. It's just so hard to keep that out of our meditation practice. And so um, I don't know, cultivating that joy, cultivating that happiness out of meditation is a beautiful way to live life, but also be a better meditator. So have a look. I think Nicole left a template in there, and it's just planning simple acts of happiness throughout the month. On the 14th, I'm going to use a recipe book and cook a nice meal. Or on the 18th, I'm going to go for a walk, and I'm just going to walk and find things that make me go, oh my God, that's amazing. Um, you know, on the 3rd, I'm going to write a letter to somebody, actually put it in an envelope and mail it. Just simple acts that make us, that bring joy to our life as a practice. And I'll check back in, hold myself accountable and check back in. Cool. Um, Sarah asked, where's the template in the WhatsApp group? In the WhatsApp group, I think it's pinned. The WhatsApp group. We'll put it again. Nope. Megan, can you post that link again? And if you can navigate to the WhatsApp group, I think you can find it there. Cool. All right, friends, have a beautiful, beautiful day. I hope to see each and every one of you on Thursday, if not sooner. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Get well soon.
Thank you, Eka.
Thank you so
Earle?
much. Hope you get well.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Can I ask something, Earle?
Of course.
Oh, I just got in and I'm like ready for meditation, but you guys finished already?
Mm.
It, I might have seen it like wrong somewhere, the hour, or wrote it down wrong. What time do you guys begin?
We begin at 6 Arizona time, which is
Yeah?
9 Eastern time. which
Okay.
is, I don't know. We'll have to do the math from there.
Oh, so you start 6 on the
Yeah.
dot Arizona time. Okay, then I can do the calculations and be there on time next time. Thank you. I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
And if you go to if you go to where, if you go to the WhatsApp,
I'm not in the WhatsApp.
well, there's another, the best way is to, if you subscribe to the newsletter, then there'll be a link for a calendar invite.
Oh.
There we go. Megan posted it.
Perfect.
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Perfect.
exactly what Megan is suggesting. If you do that,
That's perfect. I'll follow that lead. I'll follow that.
and Emma, if you check your spam folder, I see that you haven't got it. There was some problems that we made, and we tweaked this system. So some other people had problems not getting the emails. Check your spam folder. Try one more time, and if you can't, if it's still not showing up, I'm hoping we've I'm hoping we've troubleshooted the problems. So sorry about that. I think it should be good though. If not, reach out to myself or Megan. Okay. Awesome. Thank you all so much. Looking forward to being able to be part of this community and growing it and hanging out with y'all. Bye for now.